All right, I'm going to make you guys a deal, putting this video out, recording on Friday, but if we get 500 likes in the video, I am going to put out a video Saturday and on Sunday. So if you enjoy the show, want a bi-week video on both Saturday and Sunday, give this video a like, get to 500, I'll get my butt out of bed, head into the office both days in the weekend, and record a new video. We are going to talk recruiting here on this bi-week Friday from the Michigan Football Report, coming up right now. The Michigan Football Report is presented by BetQL. Go to chatsports.com/MichiganQL to get the app. Use promo code CHATMichigan to get 25% off. It's the only app I use for betting stats, advice, analytics. Helps me win my bets. So go ahead and get it, chatsports.com/MichiganQL. Let's talk recruiting, and the man that every Michigan fan is hoping to get a commitment from is Domani Jackson, the number 5 player in the country, who committed to USC over the summer, but a lot's changed since then, right? He's made a couple visits to Michigan, most notably for the Washington game. And his dad gave a few interviews this week, and one of the things I found most interesting that he said was that the only options he said for his son were USC, Alabama, and Michigan. Those are the only ones that he would potentially commit to, which kind of is interesting because they've used language over the past month or so since Clay Helton, the USC coaches, got fired, like, still committed. As of now, I'm committed. And now his dad's saying these are the only 3 schools he would go to, USC, Alabama, and Michigan. And then there was an interesting quote, again, we'll toss up here. So we had a few of them. Here's one that I thought was really interesting to put on these graphics. Honestly, Dante, who's Donte Williams, the USC interim head coach, will be the one coaching him, so it didn't really change too much, which is someone asking him, he did an interview about the Clay Helton coaching situation and the firing situation. But from my perspective, folks, it is an interesting one because he's basically giving a final 3, and he's basically saying it only matters about this one position coach who's now the interim coach with them. And so if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, I think that leaves USC probably in the 3rd position, just the way I take it. He's went to Michigan a few weeks back for the Washington game, going to Alabama in about 3 weeks for the Alabama-LSU game. USC's 3-3. They're probably going to end up 6-6, 5-7 down the stretch. And it's all going to come out to this one coach. So we're going to dive more to that here in a second. But I do want to tell you guys more about BetQL. Go to chatsports.com/MichiganQL. 25% offer if you use that promo code ChatMichigan. You might say to yourself, what is BetQL, James? Well, it is a great app. You go into it, and they just tell you for college football, NFL, even NBA, Major League Baseball, etc., what the best bets are to make each week. They've got an analytical service that they just kind of take all the stats, all the trends, everything, and rate games from 5 stars down to 1 star. So there's usually 3, 4, 5 5-star bets in college football and NFL for the totals and the over-unders. Some people win some money on the first quarter and first half as well. They got 5 stars for that. Get 25% off. Promo code ChatMichigan, chatsports.com/MichiganQL. I'll put it down in the comments. I'll put it in the description of this video. Click that link so you make sure that they know we sent you, and use that promo code ChatMichigan, 25% off. All right, let's get back to this recruitment. All right, Domani Jackson, 5-star. Dad's a Michigan fan, leaning Michigan. Is it going to come down to Donte Williams being the key, this interim head coach that they've got going on with not that great of a track record? I mean, he's clearly personable. He's clearly developed a relationship with this family, with this player, and I would guess, just based on what his dad said and the fact that he's still committed to them, is it's just going to come down to him being with the staff next year at USC, or maybe get the head coach. But I can't see there being any world where that would happen. If we just look at his past job history, he's been quarterbacks coach at Arizona, Nebraska, Oregon again, 2016, 17, 18, those seasons. Then USC is only there for last season, which was COVID-related, a lot of visiting restrictions last year. And then he's the cornerbacks coach, defensive passing game coordinator. So kind of Cody C. Maybe it's just a job title to make him switch over from Oregon. But it's not like he's been there forever, that USC is married to this guy by any reason. And there's almost no chance, at least in my opinion, that he gets the head coaching job. So if the new coach comes in, is he really going to make his decision on who his either defensive coordinator or cornerbacks coach is going to be just based on one recruit? You'd think football coaches would be a little more thoughtful about their staff and knowing that one recruit doesn't make the difference, but actually how you coach players and your game plan and all that stuff make a difference. So I have one thing to say when it comes down to what his dad said about USC's interim coach Donte Williams, and with the fact that if he stays with USC, I think they'll get Domani Jackson, is Jim Harbaugh. Hey, just hire him. Hire Donte Williams. It's so simple. I don't know why I put out a video over the summer, kind of as a joke, but not really. If you can't beat him, join him. Jim Harbaugh's clearly been open to hiring players or hiring coaches to get players in the past. Rashawn Gary, what's his name, the coach from Baltimore that coached a bunch of different Michigan players, most notably Blake Corum. It happens all the time. This isn't even a high school coach or a relative like these other ones have been. Just hire Donte Williams. Make him do like you did over the summer. Make him your secondary coach and your defensive passing game coordinator. Give him an inflated job title. If that's all it's going to take to get a 5-star recruit to have 2 of the top 3 cornerbacks in the country to come to Michigan, just hire Donte Williams. Get Domani Jackson to come with him. Clearly that would happen if he comes over to Michigan. So I think Jim Harbaugh, the second USC season is over, folks, I think he should pounce on this cornerbacks coach, interim head coach at USC. They're probably not going to make a bowl game, and they might even decline a bowl game because they don't have a head coach. So why not go after him? I think that is my advice to Harbaugh. Jim, I know you watch the show clearly with the whole make things at home, the Wisconsin jump around, Madison. You watch the show, so there is the rule. If he goes out and hires Donte Williams, or if it's been rumored that he's approached him for a job in the offseason, just remember where the idea came from. More on Domani Jackson. His dad tweeted at a recruit a couple days ago. So I'm going to pull up the tweet here. It's from DeAndre Carter, right? And he basically says, I'm very blessed and honored to announce I've received an offer from the University of Michigan, yada, yada, yada. DeAndre Carter, if you don't know, goes to Mater Dei High School, same high school as Domani Jackson, 2024, offensive lineman. Big kid, 6'5", 335 as a sophomore. So 2024 recruit. Dad tweets to him, "Congrats, Dre," with a GIF, "Go Blue." His dad has put a ton of pro-Michigan stuff out on Twitter. So I think it's just moving in the direction. I think Michigan's chances right now for him are 50-50. I think they've got the best chances of the schools remaining as long as they keep winning. If Michigan goes into that Ohio State game undefeated, or maybe they lose a heartbreaker to Penn State or Michigan State, but they're still in the top 6, 8, 10 in the country, I think they land Domani Jackson. He commits signs in December and then is on campus with Will Johnson. Maybe as early as January and as early enrollees. But I ask you guys this question: will Michigan land this 5-star super recruit? For a while, a player people thought might trend to one of the top players in the country. Go down in the comments, type Y or N. Let me know what you think. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break here. If you do, go down, type Y or N, come back up. Ad will be over, and we'll continue on with the show. All right. Let's talk the recruiting rankings before we talk a few more stories on today's show. Penn State with the number 1 class in the Big Ten and number 2 class in the country. Alabama has now surpassed them. Ohio State, number 2 in the Big Ten. Michigan, number 3. Number 7 for Ohio State, 16 nationally. For Michigan, 17 best class in the country is the Michigan State Spartans, which is very impressive, honestly, coming off a year where they had a new coach in May, and then they really couldn't have on-campus visits last year because of COVID. And then Rutgers is sitting at number 21, number 5 overall in the country. Those are 2 impressive classes. Michigan State and Rutgers to be in the top 21 class in the country, number 4, number 5 in the Big Ten. I am super impressed with them. Michigan needs to land a couple of these players. We're talking about Domani Jackson, and then this man coming up right here is Josh Conerly, number 20 player in the country. Offensive tackle out of the Seattle area. Sherrone Moore, Michigan's co-offensive coordinator, basically offensive line coach with a inflated job title, will be in Seattle tonight to watch his game. They are in a road game, but all the games are in the greater Seattle area. They're playing about 20 minutes east of downtown, so he will be there. They left the Washington game where obviously Domani Jackson, Will Johnson, Dante Moore, who we'll talk about here in a second, were at. And a lot of people who were around the program at the time said, look, Michigan clearly leads with Conerly. He's down to USC, who's in shambles, fired their coach, and Washington, who Michigan just absolutely beat down like they haven't beat down a Pac-12 team in a long time. So coming out of that one, Michigan went out. Their almost entire staff went out to Seattle for a camp over the summer, a satellite camp, just to see this one player. I think it's trending the right direction. Hell, maybe you see him tonight, get a commitment. He announces soon. I doubt it, but I do think that Michigan will end up landing Josh Conerly is what I am thinking. So I want to remind you guys one more time, 500 likes. Hit the like on that video, which means we're going to put out a video Saturday and put out a video on Sunday. So make sure you hit that like button. And I want to tell you guys about this offer with BetQL. If you haven't got going with BetQL yet, and maybe you're nervous, hey, I don't want to pay $15 a month, even with a discount, James, that's fine. $10, get you a year subscription. BetQL, BetMGM have partnered. Chatsports.com/MichiganMGM. You've got to use that link. Click on the state you live in. If you live in the state of Michigan, makes it super easy. And then put down $10 to BetMGM. Once you make your first bet and that bet settles, BetQL will email you within 24 hours and give you a free year subscription. It's a $180 value. Chatsports.com/Michigan. I'll put that one down in the comments and in the description of this video as well. How about Keon Sabb out of IMG Academy, committed to Clemson over the summer? There has been significant rumblings lately that Michigan has stayed in contact with him, that they've had a good relationship with him as a sophomore before he even headed down to IMG to play in the Bradenton, Florida, down in Florida area. Shea Patterson went there. Everybody knows about IMG Academy. Michigan is pushing for him to visit for the Ohio State game. And there is a general consensus that there's a handful of recruits around Clemson that have committed to them early. A little disappointed in what they're seeing from the team this year. Obviously, they've struggled in nearly every game they've played. And if Michigan gets him on campus for that Ohio State game, and Michigan wins that game, and hell, even if they lose a game prior to Penn State or Michigan State, if they beat Ohio State, Michigan's gonna likely be in the Big Ten championship or have a very strong chance for a playoff appearance. That could potentially tip the scales in their favor, but I don't think they will end up landing this player. It wasn't like it was a 1 and 1A with Clemson. It was really Clemson and then Michigan, Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M even were just the other teams. It's not like they had a great shot with him in the first place. So I doubt this one happens, but you never know, right? It could happen. Get him on campus, see what happens. Clemson's seat keeps going down. Michigan keeps going up. You never know. But if he did commit, I would bet decommit from Clemson. I bet he would actually go to Georgia, which looks like they may have one of the best defenses college football has seen in maybe the last decade or so. I want to ask you guys a favor. We got one more story to talk about really quick, but many of you are not following me on Twitter because I've only got 7,435 followers, and 10,000 or so people watch our videos on a given day when we put one out. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, all I tweet about is Michigan football, Michigan basketball. Sometimes I trash Ohio State and other schools, but it's all sports related. Not gonna maybe a political thing here or there, but not too much. So go follow me at James Yoder. Just trying to get to 7,500 followers as soon as possible. I'll put that down in the comments, but just always remember my name at James Yoder. Hit that follow button. Let's talk about Dante Moore, the 2023 five-star quarterback. You've got him as the number 3 quarterback in the country. The recruiting gurus out there that put these together. One guy is Arch Manning, another guy committed to Oklahoma, and then it's Dante Moore. So Michigan offered him as a 7th grader, right? 3 years ago, I think it was. He's going in his junior year, just started his junior year. So it was the summer between his sophomore year, or his 7th grade year and 8th grade year. Jim Harbaugh is personally recruiting him. He's done multiple interviews in the past couple weeks and said, hey, Harbaugh's calling me every single week. Michigan assistant coaches are texting me on a daily basis. Michigan is putting a full court press from everything we can see and have talked to a few people in and around other schools that have a shot with him. It's Notre Dame. It's Ohio State. But at the end of the day, folks, if Michigan continues to have a good season and the trajectory is looking up, you bring back 18 or 19 starters next on the 2022 class. He's going into his senior year. I think Michigan has to do everything they can to capture that momentum. Jim Harbaugh seems to be doing that. And frankly, this is what it takes. You want to win a national title. You want to beat Ohio State. You cannot be lazy as a program. Ohio State changed their whole culture when Urban Meyer came in, and they were beating Michigan prior to that, right? They said, we're going to employ the same tactics that LSU and Alabama and Nick Saban and Florida did. But what some people might say, well, that's just paying players. It's not. It's being aggressive. It is being all over the top players, pushing them for commitment, telling them how much you want them, making sure that no coach is out working with you. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times in life, things come down to relationships. So Jim Harbaugh building this relationship with Dante Moore. Good to see it. Glad to see it. And hope it ends up with a commitment. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. It is at James Yoder. Don't miss out on my awesome tweets because, frankly, I was voted best Twitter follow on best person to follow on Twitter for Michigan fans by my mom. Still counts. Go Blue.